Hi, and welcome to Have a Chat. I am your host today, Veronique Arsenault, joined, of course, by my most amazing co-host, Judy Loge.
Well, on Mondays, I do my best to be anything. Awake, for starters.
We both do.
Here we are.
We both do.
Welcome to our viewers.
I know, it's funny that we picked like a Monday to do this, because, you know, usually it's not the day that you kick off with a lot of energy.
No,
but
Friday's it for me.
Yeah, I totally understand.
Yes.
Totally understand. So, we're so happy to be here with everybody today, and it is Monday here in Miramichi at the Rotary Studio, so really pleased to be here, of course, with you.
You too.
But we'll kick it off as we always do with our quote, and Judy, you've got that today.
And I picked one that I had never seen before that I really did like, and it's so true, Veronique, and to our viewers. You can't inspire accountability in others until you model it yourself.
Absolutely.
And that is by Michael Timms, and he's a management consultant specializing in organization and leadership performance. And I was thinking of you when that quote came up, Veronique, because I find you're very obliging, willing, and accepting of taking on a responsibility and then following through. And that's accountability and getting the job done with the goals met.
Yeah, and it's really important to me that when I take on a project, whether it be in my volunteer work or in my work or with council, that I see it through, right? And you know, I am busy just like you are, but it's really important to me that when I do say yes, because I do say no at times, but when I do say yes, that I own that and that I see it through, you know. And I'll give just a really quick example. But last year, I had taken on, I'd started as president of the 40th Irish Festival, Canada's Irish Festival in the Miramichi. And I knew that I wanted it to be big because it was the 40th anniversary. I knew I wanted to bring back a lot of those kind of nostalgic pieces. And I knew that, you know, that I wanted to make it one to remember. And it was an incredibly busy time in my life. Mom was progressing, you know, through her Alzheimer's, and Dad had gotten this incredible opportunity to go to Europe, to France and Belgium, with pilgrimage with the Legion to see those World War I and II sites, and it was an incredible honor for him. And he had asked me to go, and you know, at first I had said no because it was the 2 weeks leading up to the Irish Festival. And then I thought, okay, how do I get to have this once in a lifetime experience with Dad? Because I mean, Dad's going to be 79.
Yes.
And so, you know, and I was paying my own way and all of that kind of good stuff. But so what I did is, you know, I had set up a lot of things before I left. Because when you work with something like the Irish Festival, you're negotiating with vendors, you're, you know, negotiating with performing,
security,
you know, and venues and all of those things, and organizing events and all that kind of stuff, and working with a lot of volunteers. But what I did in that case was, you know, we would be on the road during those 2 weeks from, you know, 7:30 in the morning until 10 o'clock at night. And then every night I would go back to my hotel room and I would work from, you know, 10 p.m. until, you know, 1 a.m.
I know.
Right? Because I knew that I had committed to the Irish Festival. I knew it needed to be something really important and big and enjoyable. And I had worked, and I did that for the whole 2 weeks I was gone. And then I flew back early so that I could be here.
I know.
And then, you know, I hit the ground at 2 a.m. And we started setting up on Wednesday morning at 6 a.m.
But that is total accountability. My problem a lot of the time is delegating, because I think, and it's not that I am kind of a perfectionist, but it's not that I am not imperfect. It's just that I have a hard time giving jobs to other people because I'm always thinking, oh, I want it done this way, exactly this way. And I feel if I want it done right, I'm going to do it myself because I know exactly what my expectations are.
Absolutely.
And I've had to learn to let that go. But so again, accountability is about team effort.
Absolutely.
And coming together in collaboration with the group, taking responsibility and carrying it all out as a team.
Absolutely, and you're very right, because when you delegate to somebody, you know, especially if it's not something that they've done before, then they have the opportunity to grow and learn.
That's right.
Right? And you can, because you can't do everything yourself.
No.
But when you delegate, you know, when you manage people, and you've managed projects, you've managed people, it's when you delegate to them, you give them the opportunity to learn,
to prove,
and to shine,
and to prove themselves that they are accountable, reliable, successful.
Absolutely. And we saw that with the students last year with the Irish Festival, and you know, the volunteers step up all the time. But it's such an opportunity when you're lucky enough to lead people. It's really it's your job to help other people shine.
That's
you know, and to get better and to grow and to to
Follow.
to dream for the things that they want to get done.
So I really like that quote.
I did too. Thank you.
Okay, so
Good stuff.
we're still in the warm weather spell. What are you thinking of this? I'm loving it.
I love it right now.
Me too.
Yeah, because the humidity has gone down quite a bit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which means my hair has gone down quite a bit.
Mine
It was
too.
like to hear now the last few days it's starting to settle down south.
Yeah.
But I am guilty of not having done a lot with the Irish Festival.
Yeah.
I'm Irish, Hallahan
Yes.
was my maiden name. It's very Irish. I have my green on, my green glasses. I'm trying to be a little bit devoted to the whole cause. But I had a relative visit on the weekend.
Yeah.
I have a pool which was there when we built the house, and it's a big upkeep to maintain an underground, in-ground pool.
Absolutely.
So by the time you get it started and you want to use it, and this hot flash the hot streak has landed, I wanted to have people around and be in it and enjoy it. So I did that.
I don't blame you.
And then my husband was off on the weekend, so we took some drives in my convertible. We went out for a drink, and we went down. I was down the waterfront to see some activities on the weekend. But I really am at the age now where I choose, even though I could have been like day, night down at the
Yes.
festival. I took it a little bit, but then I chose to do what I really wanted to do for myself. And it sounds selfish, but I feel I'm allowed at my age to pick and choose.
Absolutely. And you know what, the Irish Festival and all of the festivals, it's about, taking in the things that really speak to your soul, right? And that you want to enjoy. And driving yourself down there just because you feel like you have to is not a great way to enjoy
That's
it.
exactly. I don't.
No, but there was so much going on this weekend. Like, it was an incredible weekend here in
Beautiful.
Miramichi, and I got to take in a lot of it.
I know.
Friday during the day, so I had taken vacation days last week, and so Friday during the day, I worked the corned beef and cabbage
Big
at the
crowd.
Legion Branch 3, and it was a great crowd. And
Good.
you know what I think a lot of people don't realize is those like the smelt fry and the corned beef and cabbage are fundraisers for the Legion Branch 3. But that money very literally goes directly to supporting veterans here.
I know.
Like
I do
here in the
realize that.
city,
Yes.
And so it's so wonderful to
Important.
see so many people out.
Yeah.
So I did that Friday during the day, and then Friday night I took in the opening ceremonies.
Yes.
It was wonderful, and Denise Doyle-Drouin received the Marvin McCarthy President's Award for her contributions to the festival.
I loved Marvin McCarthy dearly.
I know, he was a wonderful
Yes.
man and a great mentor to me. I spent a lot of time kind of picking his brain over the years.
He taught me math, and he was my neighbor for 30-ish years.
Absolutely, and Karen Howe was the president. She thanked, of course, all of the volunteers and the board. And then Saturday morning, they had the pub then Friday night.
And the weather.
And the weather was
It
fantastic.
was a big bonus, right?
Yeah, and I got to take part in the family walking parade, and I love that. I love that. I love seeing all of the families come together, and I'm almost 50-50. I'm Irish Acadian, so I'm just a little bit around 40% Irish and about 39% Acadian, and I've got some Scottish in there. But really, you wouldn't know it with a French name like mine, but I really am an Irish Acadian lassie.
A little Irish redhead.
That's right. And then so we walked in the family parade, and then they had the entertainment downtown.
So much going on.
And then the pubs that night, and
I saw the dancers on the stage.
yes.
They
Oh,
were
the
amazing.
Nelson Doyle
They always
dancers.
are. They're a highlight.
Incredible. And then, but also this weekend was the Natwaganeg powwow.
Yes.
And the drums, they're so powerful.
My favorite instrument.
Yeah, and I got to walk in the grand entry on Saturday.
Did a lot, very neat.
It was one of those weekends.
Full
yeah,
weekend.
yeah, one of those weekends. And then Sunday, I did the Dr. Paula Keating Irish Fest run.
I know.
For the first time.
I know, and you did very well.
I did. I wanted to die.
But you did it, and you are pushing your,
Yeah.
you're setting out as we're speaking to this about accomplishments. And if you're going to run the run, then you say I'm going to be accountable to show up, and I'm going to try to meet my end goal, and you did.
Yeah, and it was the Miramichi River Runners are a wonderful volunteer organization, and they were so kind to the volunteers cheer me on as I went, and then Middle Island had so much going on in the afternoon
right now happening down there.
Oh, I love it down there. It's so beautiful and it's so welcoming, and they had family activities. They've got an incredible museum there.
It's well utilized.
Yeah, Character Matters is doing kind of a historical walking tour.
And people are just walking, period, and playing. My little nephew was down there
Absolutely.
playing in the sand and
Yeah,
having a great old
absolutely.
time, the beach area. So
yeah, so just a really fantastic
Good.
weekend here on the river, and more to come. There's
Yes.
Rock and Roll Festival is coming up this weekend.
yeah, we're never dull in Miramichi.
No.
As we're talking about all of that, we're in our quick chat portion. What did you, I guess I was surprised, but then I wasn't, I guess, that Biden, the incumbent for the U.S. president, has stepped aside.
Yeah.
And apparently, well, we know his mental acuity has been very much declining, right?
Yep.
And it's been visible and it's humiliating. But he's also very frustrated and angry and heartbroken that his allies in his party weren't more persuasive in his, running. But I think, probably, I'm guessing his wife would have sat him down and had the Vice President, Kamala Harris, and said, look, this is something that maybe you should put aside and just continue on as your role as doing the best you can and fulfilling the rest of the time as president.
Absolutely.
And so what does that mean now? Trump.
Well, so, and it's incredible, like, President Biden is 81 years old.
I know it.
And has served for 50 years.
I know.
Like, it's incredible.
I was thinking
that
about
he
that.
served that long.
Yes, I know. He's a gentleman.
Yes, and he's done a lot of good in his life, and he's dedicated his life really to public service. So they have to find a new nominee.
I know.
Now, a lot of he put his support behind Kamala Harris.
Yes.
A lot of people are calling for her to be the nominee, but they're also calling for a nomination convention.
Okay.
And then she has to find a running mate if she does become that nominee. Former President Trump did accept his party's nomination. Okay. And he's announced his running mate, J.D. Vance.
Yes, I did
and so
hear that.
It's it's.
I personally, I wouldn't want either of them. If I was in the U.S., I would probably not want either one of them to run my bath, to be perfectly honest. But I'm not going to get into that because they have their fans and they have their support and they have their various, virtues and responsibilities and. But I'm just glad it's not me having to vote.
No, and as much as we say it's the U.S., it does affect the world. The outcomes of all of these elections affect the world.
Yes,
so
we're the next country to them.
Yeah, exactly. So it'll be interesting and terrifying to watch in the next few months because it's only 4 months away.
Exactly.
And it's unprecedented in our modern times that the sitting president is not going to be running again. But just a real thanks to
half a century's worth of giving back in the political world.
Yeah. It's dedication for sure, but a lot and very recently we've lost a lot of very public figures in the world. Richard Simmons.
Bless his
I love
him. Richard Simmons was 76. I didn't even think he was. I thought maybe 70-ish.
He didn't look it.
But he had fallen at his home in Los Angeles, and he did not seek follow-up with medical attention. And he had also been battling cancer under one of his eyes. So no, I don't know how serious that was or not, but probably getting treated for that. And just the reason that he fell and didn't get to the doctor, I think, was the reason that they found him at home. But he was a pioneer, for fitness and everything, TV shows and energizing. And he really was a celebrity in the world of good health and promoting good health.
Yeah, and he's, he was such a personality, right?
Yes.
Like he just exuded joy for life,
energy.
And I, Sweating to the Oldies was
the headband.
I know,
and pumped all the time,
all the
like
time.
Contagious, like you said, contagious energy.
Yeah, I thought he was the neatest fella.
And then we lost dear Shannon Doherty after a long battle with breast cancer. As people may or may not know, she was the star of Beverly Hills 90210.
That's why I grew up with it.
And charmed, and she was beautiful inside and out. And she was married, I think it was 2 or 3 times, but this most recent husband, just hours before she passed away at age 53, she went through a divorce. Oh. She finalized that. And
did she really?
Yes, she did. She just wanted to move on, and she made that commitment to let him go before her death, and that happened. But she fought hard.
Oh, and absolutely, because I think she'd been diagnosed a few years ago, and when she was diagnosed, it was terminal at that time.
I know.
Yeah, and then she did everything she could to stick around. And
then we lost Dr. Ruth Westheimer.
Tiny little human.
Yeah, 96 years old.
Oh my goodness, and it's funny because she seemed old when I was young.
Well, she was.
Yeah.
But she was a sex expert, and she made it funny because she was frank. She was funny, but she had all the facts down.
Yeah.
And talking about the birds and the bees and enlightening everybody on TV and on the radio. And she had that very funny way of telling stories, but making it, that people were being informed at the same time.
Absolutely. Yeah, and she had that accent. I believe German or Austrian or something.
I think she was German American.
Probably. But she just a remarkable woman, and she dedicated her life to sharing factual information.
Yes, she did. I think I learned everything.
Very bluntly.
Yeah.
Very bluntly.
Honest to God.
She was so cute though.
Yeah,
she was just a tiny little woman, but a real powerhouse in her knowledge and her desire to to really get that information out there.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what else we got, Veronique? I brought a nice recipe if you're interested.
I would love to hear it.
Okay, so for those who are quick on the draw, may have a pen or a good memory, real quick, I have a recipe for watermelon strawberry sangria.
Woo, giddy up.
Yes, so if you're having a party and you have a non-alcoholic beverage, well, you can have this one for your alcoholic beverage at your gathering. You'll need 1 small seedless watermelon, the rind removed and the flesh cut into large chunks, about 4 cups of seedless watermelon, 1 pound of strawberries, hulled and sliced, and 1 cup reserved for garnish, 1 bottle of rose wine, cold, 1 cup of vodka. You have to be maybe, a little bit slack on that end, but you can put a cup, and 1 cup of fresh orange juice. You need an orange and you need a lime sliced. You combine the watermelon and the strawberries in a blender until smooth. Add a splash of the vodka to get the fruit pureed, and then you stir into a pitcher, a large one. You will need about 4 cups total of juice. You add the wine, the vodka, the orange juice, the lime slices, and you cover it up. You put it in the fridge for at least 24 hours, and just before serving, add the reserved strawberries and serve it.
That sounds delicious.
It does. You don't have to put the liquor in. You don't have to put the liquor in.
No. Well, I'm not a huge fan of watermelon.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan, but it sounds wonderful.
Okay. Well, for those who maybe haven't tried something like that, they have the regular sangrias, but this is a little bit of a change up to it.
I love it. Yeah, I love it. So, anyway, listen, whatever floats your boat out there.
Right.
So we're going to go to break. We have some wonderful guests joining us in a couple of minutes. And so grab a snack, as I always say, and a cool beverage, whether it be this one or another one. And we'll see you right after the break. Don't go too far. Hi, and welcome back to Have a Chat. I'm your host, Veronique Arsenault, joined, of course, by my wonderful co-host, Judy Loge.
Oh, you're paid to say that, and I don't have any money on me today, Veronique.
That's okay. A little cookie or something will do it.
Sure.
So we have 2 wonderful guests who are no strangers to the community and to volunteering. They have dedicated decades themselves. You started when you were 2, I know. And so you've dedicated decades to volunteering in the community and improving the community and doing all that you can. So just so pleased to have both Peggy Doyle, who is past president of the Rotary Club of Chatham, and Lowell Loveday, who has been a long-time member of the club and has held many different positions yourselves.
Yes.
So welcome to both of you. So Peggy, for those who don't know you out there, tell us a bit about you.
Well, I did start Rotary when I was 2.
Yeah.
But I grew up in Miramichi, actually born in the outskirts of Barnaby River.
Okay, pretty.
And then moved to the big city when I was a teenager. And I married a wonderful man. We have 5 children. 8 grandchildren.
Ooh.
I worked, fortunate enough to have a job with the city for 30 years, which I just retired from 3 months ago.
Congratulations on that.
Yes.
And she's been busier since.
And I actually have been. I was quite sure I wasn't going to have anything to do, and now
busier than ever.
I am.
That's grand to have all that. Beautiful family.
Yeah. How about you, Lowell? Tell us a bit about you.
Well, I'm from Ontario. I moved out east 40 years ago. I spent 10 years in Moncton, and now the last 30 have been in Miramichi. So, yeah.
You got to brag a bit about your hockey abilities, Lowell.
Well, that's what brought me out
That's
here
right.
originally.
Yes, because you were an all-star player, really, on defense, weren't you? For
Yes, I was,
which
yeah.
hockey league?
in the American Hockey League in Moncton at the time when
Yeah.
when they had a team there. So that's what brought me here.
You've had many awards too.
And then the Packers.
I was gonna say, didn't you play for the Packers?
So then when the Packers were here is what brought me here.
Yeah.
And then one evening at the Opera House, I met my current wife,
That'll do it.
and I've been here ever since.
She is, I have to say, the most beautiful person, your wife. So shout out to Angela, who is one of the
Angela, yes.
loveliest people I
Yes.
know.
Yeah.
Besides you, of course. No,
Very smooth,
so we're
very
glad you moved here and stayed
So
here.
that's my history, yeah.
That's
yeah.
wonderful. I have a few questions. So Peggy, you joined the Rotary Club, would it be how long, 2 years ago?
7,
What?
2017.
Oh my gosh, you're not here that long. Because I'm a Rotarian, a fellow Rotarian too, and Veronique has moved on
I
with
was,
other
yeah.
commitments, but she was a longtime Rotarian as well. So we're proud to have you join us on this whole subject of Rotary. So you've been here a while, and you've been
7
very
years.
involved as past president and chair of various committees. So why did you join Rotary? And what are some of the various roles you've held and committees that you've sat on to date?
Well, I joined Rotary because I just saw a lot of good things they were doing in the community, and Ann Woods was a longtime friend, and she brought me on board, and I've loved it ever since. Haven't missed a lot of meetings, and in the first year I became the secretary, which I was secretary for 3 years, and then started moving up the ranks to president, and I just finished a 2-year stint as president on July 1st.
It's a huge
So,
responsibility, as you
is.
can attest to, Laura.
Absolutely.
It really certainly is.
Yes, and
you're
I'm
gonna-
also, our biggest fundraiser, of course, is our Rotary Radio Bingo. And I've been the supervisor of that for the past 5-6 years.
And that's
So-
very successful. And we're going
It
to get
is
into
very
that
successful.
more
Yes,
so, particularly
sure.
on all of our fundraising. But so you've been extremely busy
Yes.
with the Rotary roles.
Yes.
Yeah, she has. Lowell, you've been a longtime member of the Rotary Club of Chatham, and we've been president and chair of the committees, and but one of the ones, and so I was with Rotary for 10 years, and you were at that time chair of the Rotary Foundation Committee. So tell the audience what that is, but also what Rotary does.
Yeah.
Rotary, what do we do? Well, we transform communities. We work to fulfill a need that we may see in our local community, across the province, across the Maritimes, across Canada, across the world. And we work towards making the world a better place and doing things in projects that are sustainable, that are ongoing, that we're talking about the foundation, those are projects that happen around the world, a lot of times in disadvantaged countries and that, and providing one of the last ones we donated to was an orphanage where they had no toilets. So they brought in that. They had no sleeping quarters. Boys and girls used the same one little outhouse kind of thing. They had no sleeping quarters in that. And so we partnered up, we joined with the project that helped to fund to make that a better place for them.
It feels so good to do something like that. Can you imagine living in that state?
Yes, absolutely.
We're so blessed, and then to contribute to something like that and give them that is just so rewarding.
Yeah, and so with Rotary, normally we wouldn't have access to be able to donate to a project like that because you wouldn't know about it.
Right.
But with Rotary, the way that the foundation works, you can find out and hear about these different projects, and if something sparks your club's interest, then you can decide if you want to donate to that and be part of the solution. So, no, it's locally, everybody knows that we do things a lot locally.
Yeah.
But we also do, again, provincially, across Canada, across the world.
Voluntarily, might we add. We do everything. It's our Rotary motto is service above self.
Yeah.
And I think you take that, and we all take that to heart, that if you're going to jump in and do something for the betterment of your fellow citizens, that you put some things aside and you do for the other people what they need more.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I love it.
And that's the whole thing, right? Is that to be able to give back in some way or form. And with Rotary, I can do and be part of something much bigger than I could just do on my own.
That's
So with the group, with Peggy leading us, and Roger now this year, our
Yes.
Roger Stewart, our
Yes.
president this year, and the executive and our members, 25 or 30 members.
Really good.
Yeah, that we can now band together and do projects, raise money, and be able to donate to these other projects and see change happen in the world.
Can't believe it. I think I've been there 25 years plus
Oh
now.
my gosh.
And the nice thing too, as you know, and you all know, and the viewers may not know, is that you can join a Rotary meeting anywhere across the world. So if you're in
Absolutely.
Australia and they have a meeting set at a hotel at noon there at a certain time and place, say Sydney, for example, or whatever other place it may be, you can jump in, or you can go to Moncton to their club meeting in the morning, or Bangor, Maine, or whatever, and share some ideas we have and get some of their ideas and collaborate, you know, sit around the table and talk Rotary.
Yeah,
It's a nice
absolutely.
aspect of the whole thing.
Yeah, I think a lot of people wouldn't know actually how widespread it is
No.
around the world, right? Like there's clubs everywhere.
Everywhere.
And it's so incredible that the motto, no matter what club you're in, is service above self.
I know. I love seeing those signs, that big wheel. I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah, I'm part of that scene. I'm proud to see that sign.
Yeah.
So Peggy, now we do an awful lot with the Chatham Rotary Club, and people are so thankful that we give back in so many ways that we do and have been for years and years. So talk to us about some of the various projects and how many people have benefited from the support that we've given them.
Sure. I'll do some of it from memory, but some of it I
Whatever you choose.
one of our biggest ones is the Miramichi Regional Hospital Foundation.
Yep.
Over the last few years, we've given over $350,000, but most recently is $200,000 for the new quiet room that they're building outside of the ICU.
Beautiful.
And we have given $117,000 to the Miramichi Dialysis Clinic to purchase 12 state-of-the-art chairs for the dialysis patients.
Amazing.
And that's run through the George Dumont Hospital Foundation. Also, we have given $78,000 to the Emergency Center for Women, $100,000 to the doctor, one of our most recent, $100,000 to the Dr. Gerard and Judy Logier Foundation for Percy's Place.
The capital
and
cost.
capital
And
cost
can I
for
just
Percy, yes.
say a big thank you to that. Like, that's just huge. That's the biggest donation to date for
Yes.
our privately funded hospice. And it
Glad.
means an awful
Yes,
lot.
it was,
We're
yes.
so
It's amazing.
thankful, so
Yeah.
thankful.
Amazing.
So also, over the last few years, we donated $175,000 to the Miramichi Cross Country Ski Club for their new building. So if you drive by 126, you can see the wheel in front.
Yeah.
But that's ours. $40,000 to Miramichi Ground Search and Rescue, and they do a lot of work in the community. They're all volunteers. Most all of these
Yeah.
people that I've talked about here are volunteers, but they go all over the province to help in
They do.
searches, and so we help to fund their new truck to haul their equipment. The Miramichi Food Bank, they needed to purchase a new building, so we had given them $40,000 to purchase that building. But we also, most years, give them $5,000 for operations of the building.
Right.
The Chatham Head Rec Center, we gave them $25,000 to do an irrigation system at their Waldo Henderson ball field, and any monies that were left over, they used it for the roof. These are wonderful volunteers who do so much for the community.
Yes.
And Nordine Rec Center, we gave them $22,000 for a new roof that they needed. Camp Rotary, which is a big deal. Camp Rotary is in Grand Lake, and we send campers there every year, around $6,000. We send 5 or 6 every year, and we gave them $25,000 to do some repairs. Plus, we gave them $10,000 for the purchase of a new van.
I'm so proud listening to this.
I know. We give scholarships every year to James M. Hill students. Last 2 years alone was close to $14,000. We do $5,000 in grocery giveaways as random acts of kindness at Christmas time. And that is quite moving when
Yes,
we do
of
that.
course.
We have a Dolly Parton Imagination Library, which is literacy based. We spend between $15,000 and $18,000 to have books sent to children ages 0 to 5. St. Andrew's United Church on Henderson Street. We do a community kitchen 9 months of the year, and so we spend probably $4,000 or $5,000 a year on that community, and that is purchasing the food, cooking the food, and serving the food.
I know,
So,
all of it.
Knights of Columbus in Chatham on King Street needed some renovations, quite a bit of renovations done to make it more accessible to the public. And they did get some provincial and federal funding and do a lot of fundraising themselves, but they were short $10,000, so we were happy to be able to
Wonderful.
provide them with that.
Beautiful.
We do, Lowell talked about the foundation, and they have a grant program. And we've helped the Chatham Public Library over the last number of years, but most recently, last year it was $4,500 we gave them for memory kits for people with dementia. And it's just not for the people with dementia, but the people that work with them as well.
Okay.
And this year it was $4,500 to the Newcastle Library for children with autism. So they're autism kits. That,
Wow.
And the Rotary Foundation helped us with that as well. And we also give about $6,000 a year to shelter boxes because the Worldwide Foundation is always ready when there's a disaster of some sort, and they have these shelter boxes that they send immediately. There's always Rotarians on the ground to help, and so we're happy to do all. And I'm just, I may be missing a few things, but just in the last probably 2 to 3 years, it's been over $1 million that we've given to the community.
It's incredible.
It is incredible, and a lot of that is, again, we talked a few minutes ago about the fundraising efforts, and it's all of the people that support our fundraising efforts can all take pride in all of this because it's because of them helping us that we can help others.
That's right.
And we are extremely proud and thank all of the people that continually, week after week, support our project.
And when I go to that Ritchie's Wharf and I remember that ribbon cutting of the accessible part, that was a $100,000 project. That goes back a few years, I think 2016, 2017. But how utilized is that, and how special was that to have everyone?
Those projects are so sustainable.
There's so many of them that you've accomplished, though.
That's right.
So thank you for touching on all of those.
But it's been a couple of million just since I've joined. But just in the last 3 years.
Well, and it's amazing, right? Because there's also, you have a sister club in the city as well that does a lot of good work as well, which is incredible to see so much happening through volunteerism under that Rotary brand, right? And Lowell, let's talk a minute about why did you join Rotary originally?
I was there.
Originally, I joined. I've always volunteered. I come from a sporting background, so I coached minor hockey, minor soccer for many, many years. I retired from that, and then I ended up coming to a Rotary meeting and joining, and then that was it. And then I stuck around, and Rotary was different for me at that time. Together with a group of like-minded people that we could raise money for projects and that, and get to know people that I wouldn't normally have met, and I wouldn't have known. I could almost say everyone that attends our meetings, I would probably not have had a relationship with as a friend or whatever, that I would not have run into them. And there's so many great people, and
diverse group.
So in joining, it's just helped me expand my friends and like-minded people doing something. And it's just been so good.
You're very involved, and it's both of you are so enthusiastic about it that breeds more enthusiasm, right? You pitch in.
Yeah.
And so Peggy or Lowell, both of you, what would you say going forward? We always love to have new members, but you can't just walk in off the street and say, I'd like to be a Rotarian. There are stipulations. So what would you say to that we're welcoming new members, but?
Well, there would be somebody that would know one of us and just ask, and we'd like to bring them to a meeting we meet every Thursday at the Royal Canadian Legion Branch 3, and we would just be telling them that they could come and see what a meeting is like. I mean, not every meeting is the same, but it's similar. Give yourself a week or two and then decide if you're willing to help us with our projects, and if, and everybody has something to offer.
They do. Everyone's
Yes.
from a different
Yes,
walk.
that's right.
And Lowell, any final words, I guess, before
We have a
to-
minute left.
A minute.
Yeah, no, just with that is that, look at things that I've learned from Rotary. I never chaired a formal meeting in my life.
Right, yeah.
Never. So Rotary, we run a quasi-parliamentary, we
Yeah.
follow an agenda and motions and rules and that. I've never ever done anything like that. I learned a lot from that. And so that's another part of Rotary, is we're transforming ourselves as well. So
We really are.
Well, we want to thank
Thank
both of you
you.
for all you do and for being here with us today. So don't go too far. We still have more great show. So go grab another snack because you deserve it. And we'll see you back in a couple of minutes. Hi, and welcome back to Have a Chat. I am your host today, Veronique Arsenault, joined, of course, by my fantastic co-host, Judy Loge, for our last segment of the day.
Flying right by.
I know,
Happy
and-
to be with everybody.
You know, and after nearly 10 years, it's amazing that we still have new guests every time.
I know. And we still look so young.
Yes, we're going to go with that. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes.
So, you know what? I'm so excited because I'm a big fan of what you do. But our next guests are joining us. So we have Carlos and Emily Armau, owners of the Cheese District here in Miramichi. I could eat my body weight in cheese every day. Yeah, it's a fantastic. But we're so excited to have both of you. So, you know what? For everybody out there to get to know you a little bit, Carlos, you tell us a little bit about you.
So, well, I was born in Venezuela. I'm from Caracas, Venezuela, Latin America. I came here 14 years ago to Canada. I went to McGill. That's where I met Emily.
Yes.
We're both doing our undergrad. She's doing her master's degree later on, musical arts and violin performance. So we lived in Montreal for about 4 or 5 years. I think Emily lived longer there than I. We worked with Boris Brother and the National Academy Orchestra in Hamilton for about a year before we moved to Miramichi. So we came here originally about 8 years ago now. I think we've been living here to start the Sistema program. It's a program of the New Brunswick Youth Orchestra, fantastic program.
Beautiful.
So that's what brought us here. Cheese District, we just opened that. We're babies. It's only 4 months. We just opened.
I know, but we're so excited about it. We're going to talk about that for sure.
We will.
Right?
But Emily, tell us a little bit about you.
So I'm originally from Ontario, Peterborough, Ontario, and I went to school in Montreal, McGill, where I did my bachelor and master's in violin performance.
Violin?
Yes.
I love it.
Yes, and that's where I met this guy over here. Yes, and then after that, like Carlos said, we were in Montreal for a while, spent some time back in Ontario. And then moved out here, and we have been here for 8 years. We have our 2 beautiful children.
I didn't know that.
Yes.
Boy, girl.
Oldest is a girl, Elsie, and youngest Christopher.
Didn't know that.
Yes. So,
How beautiful.
Yeah, so we put down our roots here. We just absolutely love it. And
you serenaded him. That's how you
Exactly,
you
yeah.
you
Yeah,
had him and
exactly,
kept him and then had
that's
2
right.
children later.
You won him over with a string instrument.
But everyone, we're going to talk about the music because you're so gifted that you have all kinds of things going on, but also this Cheese District, the Cheese District that is on Water Street, Front Street in Chatham, Miramichi is new. It's something like we've never had before. And so we want to hear all about it. Like, what, was this a dream of yours? Or did you and Emily talk about this from where you lived? You thought to bring it here. How did it all transpire?
Yeah, it was a dream, but mostly we wanted to bring this to Miramichi. It's nothing like, our story is one of a kind. There is nothing like that in New Brunswick, I think.
Ooh.
So it's a little bit a combination of all of our travels, the things that we liked. Montreal, of course, it all it starts and ends with cheese.
Yes.
We have over 110 different type of cheese on a point of sale. We can't carry that much at a point, but
No.
we have about 55, 60 at all times, and there's some of them rotate. Not just cheese, we do have best organic olive oil in the world. We have spices, balsamics, cookies, a lot of Italian things, Spanish olives, you name it. Chocolate. Some of the
Quite
best chocolate yes.
Oh, I've been in to sample.
Yes.
Really, so
Yes.
much more than cheese.
It's much more than cheese. It's a fine food store too. We also have grilled cheeses and soups.
Okay,
and
let's talk about the
coffee.
grilled cheese for a second.
Oh.
They make grilled cheese like hot and ready
Where are they?
with
Where
soup to go. It is absolutely spectacularly delicious.
I'll have to get that from my parents because I say, oh, what would you feel like tonight? And where it's been so hot to cook, is just run in, grab that, and bring it to them.
Absolutely.
Easy peasy.
Oh, it's fantastic.
That's
Yeah.
such a
Yeah.
variety you carry.
But Emily, tell us, you're fully involved with the business. So tell us, what's your day-to-day look like? What's your role there?
Well, I mean, Carlos and I, we do everything, from the researching the products to the on the ground kind of work, making everything, making the store beautiful, a place where we want everyone to come visit, very welcoming. And that's really our goal, is we want people when they come into store to have a beautiful experience and to remember that when they leave and tell all their friends.
Yes, absolutely. I agree.
Yeah.
So, what kind of excitement has been, what's been the feeling, the connection to the customers, and for you, and you as well, but for Carlos as a new business owner, first time ever in this cheese business and other product business in the store, what's the excitement like? What's it feel like to be so successful at this?
Well, it is definitely an adventure. I think our training as performers and violinists has prepared, because there is not like, you think it's a lot of pressure, but it is, in the end it's actually way less. I'm loving it. We're loving it, having the time of my life. And the excitement part is also, because it's an evolving thing. It all started with, okay, we're gonna bring cheeses, we're gonna bring all these fantastic artisan things, and then why not to do olive oils?
Yes.
Oh yeah, well, why not to do chocolates? And then it keeps evolving. Originally, we were not really planning to have a takeout cafe.
No.
And then it's like, oh, like a lot of people, like it's very difficult to find really good soup or really, so why not to do that?
That's wonderful.
So like we keep going back. It's like, oh, every time I order something, it's like, oh, we should have this tea. By the way, we have fantastic tea. I'm a coffee drinker, and my wife is turning me now into this tea. Anyway, then why not to bring this? Why not to bring that? So. It's being an exciting. We have met so many wonderful people too that have come, and
That's what I was thinking.
I know it's a different kind of feeling, but not much different than performing and doing this
Something
kind
you
of
love
things
to
in
do.
musical. Yeah, you
But
have
also
connections.
in Miramichi, we're growing. We're bringing in more young families, and we have an aged population, but we're trying to change that, and we're seeing the change. But people do love that evening of getting their favorite wine and their cheese and doing their bread with the special oils, and then topping it up with some chocolate and tea. And so it all blends, and it's all something like, what can I do for my company tonight? Go to the cheese factory, get it all, bring it home, put a charcuterie board out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
actually, funny enough, the last time it was in, there was a lady there, and she was making a custom charcuterie board for a party she was going to.
Love it.
And I watched her pick all the cheeses. I'm like, oh, that looks really good. But talk to us, Emily, a little bit about what are some of the best-selling cheeses, and what's your favorite?
And what kind?
Oh,
You
it's
have.
so hard for me to choose a favorite. It's like
Okay.
picking a favorite child. I have,
What's your favorite
you can't
child?
do
Who's
that.
your favorite
No,
child?
I'm not.
Listen,
No comment.
it's got to be brie-based. I'll tell you right now.
Exactly.
It's got to be brie-based.
But some of our best-selling cheeses, we have some amazing cheddars and an applewood smoked cheddar. We just can't
I
even
love
keep
it.
it on the shelf. We bring it in every single week because people want to put it on their pizza. They want to put it on their hamburgers. But then again, some of these cheeses, you can eat them as a snack. We have a fabulous manchego cheese, which is a Spanish cheese. And it's actually one of the traditional cheeses that you would have in Spain. It would be like their cheddar cheese,
My sister
right?
lives there. She's going to be, when she comes home, she'll be right down.
Absolutely, they would eat that every single day, but it's very hard to find here, but we have it.
Right.
And it's great on a cracker, but you don't even need a cracker, just have it as a snack by itself. Really. There are so many different kinds of cheese.
Is there one with turmeric or something, or did I dream that? Like something with a
We-
health benefit to it?
We have certainly had some, we've had some Goudas with cumin. We have a bunch of different kinds with different kind of ingredients added in there. But what we want to do is to have everybody come in and find something that they love.
And there's going to be
Right?
everything. I love
Because-
everything.
And
the
and
chocolate.
it is hard to choose.
Does
yeah.
it come, I have to be there, but does it come in chocolate pieces or chocolate bars or chocolate pie, or what does it?
Chocolate bars.
Bars.
We have that's the Venezuelan chocolate is actually originally from Venezuela. The cacao bean, it all is originated in Venezuela.
Right.
We have a kind of chocolate. Forgot the word in English. It's called porcelana. That's the help me here. It's the bean. It's called porcelana. It's very rare. It's fantastic. It has a very beautiful, fruity and floral taste to it. It's dark chocolate. It's very difficult to work with and to find. Anyway, it's a fantastic chocolate that we have.
You know, from your country, what is the people love?
Yeah, it
right?
is very Venezuelan cacao is very famous.
I've never
very
been.
famous.
No, and and what I loved about kind of wandering through your shop was, you know, when you go to buy something, you know that it's unique and special, and you know, especially if you give. So some of your cookies actually I took to my mom as a gift because one, they had chocolate on them, but they were also ginger snaps, and it's her favorite, right? And ginger snaps are her favorite, and she ate the whole box. She didn't share any of them with me.
My gosh, sounds like my mother-in-law this morning with us. She used to do that.
Yeah, I know she did. Yeah, but that's what I love though, is the uniqueness of each of the pieces that you have there, and the flavor. You know, you're not going to find it anywhere else.
I love it all.
Yeah.
Not only are you in the cheese district and all the other products that come with the business, but you're so talented, as we alluded to earlier in the show, regarding musical ability. So you studied at McGill, and you're a violinist, and do you play another instrument, or is that mainly your...
Violinist.
And that's my
yes.
favorite. Okay, that is.
Happy to hear it.
Do you play a certain
I'm
instrument?
a violinist too.
You are as well?
Yeah, you both went to McGill violin performance, yeah.
So for those who do not know exactly, you touched on it, but what Sistema is, could you share with the viewers what it's all about?
Sistema is an after-school music program that we have in New Brunswick. It's originated in Venezuela too, from where I am from. We have in New Brunswick right now over 1,200 200 kids, in the program. It's after school every day from Monday to Friday, from when they finish school until the end of the day. We provide, it's free of charge for the children and for the families. We provide with the transportation from the school to the center and send the center home at the end of the day with the instrument, with the instruction. Most of all of our teaching artists are highly skilled, trained professional musicians, like a master's degree in violin performance. We have doctorates conducting in St. John. It's an absolute wonderful program. Our children just played with Dan Brown, author of the Da Vinci Code, this past June in Moncton. An incredible performance. A year ago, in June, they were also playing at Carnegie Hall, the New Brunswick Youth Orchestra.
Imagine.
So,
you should be so proud.
We are.
And where do the instruments come from? Now, that's a lot of instruments to provide to all those students.
Yes, it is.
Do you have to collect or get donations, or
is.
you have to find them or buy them, or what do you have to do?
We buy our own
You do.
instruments for the children.
That's a
and
huge
it is
undertaking.
because as the kid grows, right, they will start on a smaller instrument, but then they will need a bigger instrument. Then they will. So we have hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of instruments that we keep in our inventory. Yeah.
But after school for free, to have your child involved in a musical program with such capable leaders and musicians is something that I can't even imagine. My kids didn't have that opportunity. They're men now, but I would have loved to have had them take part.
Well, it's quite remarkable because Sam Murphy, Samantha, who's been a co-host on the show before, her boys were in the program. And it was remarkable to see them grow in confidence, in skill, and just to, they got to play with the youth orchestra and that feeling of being part of something truly special. Like it's such a wonderful program.
And making friends.
Yeah, it's such
with
a
other
wonderful
students.
program. And plus you keep them busy after school.
Wow.
Which, it's good, right? Emily, so we've touched a little bit on your musical background, but what's been most rewarding for you working with Sistema?
I mean, I think one of the most rewarding things is we're very fortunate to be able to have seen these children, a lot of them some of them being in the program for the 8 years that we've been open. Having the privilege to work with these kids over years and years and years and see them grow, see them evolve, see them turn from, grade 1 going into high school now, really, it's an incredible experience. And being able to mentor them and nurture them through their musical journey as well is just being one of the most rewarding parts.
I can
certainly.
only imagine.
Yeah.
So we have to get this in, the information regarding both subjects that we're talking about today. So to begin with, for those people who are now craving all this beautiful cheese and olive oil and everything else you talked about, chocolate, where again, what's your contact information for the Cheese District?
You can find us on Facebook and Instagram. We're right now right on Main Street and Water Street.
Water Street in Chatham.
1730 Water Street in Chatham.
Front Street.
Yeah, you can't miss it.
Okay.
We call it the front street.
Yeah. So Facebook is where you would say just go check it out.
Facebook, Instagram. Yeah, you can find us there. There's always something new. I keep bringing new things.
I know.
I'm gonna run out of space soon.
And Emily, so for Sistema, for those parents that are saying, I'd love my child to be in an after-school program with such gifted people teaching my kid and for a free program, how do they go about is starting up in September again?
It is going to be starting up again in September. Generally, the recruitment that we do is in the springtime. So, looking forward to the next year, certainly in the spring. Keep an eye out for any kind of applications that get sent home.
2025.
Exactly, yeah. But, we're so lucky to have this program here, and I hope that we can get as many kids as possible into it. That's really our dream.
Well, we're so lucky to have you both here. Look what you're providing to the Miramichi.
In the last 2 minutes, what do you want people to know most out there, whether it be about the Cheese District or Sistema? What do you want them to know most?
Oh, well, you know what? I'm gonna be honest with you. We moved here from Montreal, thinking we'll be here for about 3 years, get everything set, and come back. We absolutely love this place.
Right.
I believe Miramichi. I think this is a wonderful place to grow, to get your kids to grow and to live. We just came from a travel and we couldn't wait to be back.
Couldn't wait to get home, eh? Yeah.
From the Cheese District, we want to bring all that experience, all those new things that you cannot find anywhere else. That's what we're interested in, and opening that to everybody here. Yeah. So come visit us. You will find something that is for you.
For sure.
And for Sistema, what else can we say about that? It's one of the most incredible things that have happened, not just in New Brunswick, in Canada, but in the world.
And in your life.
Yeah, in our life, yeah. I'm a product of El Sistema.
Yeah. Yes, you are.
So, and like me, hundreds of thousands of children that have gone through the program in Venezuela and in Canada will.
Amazing.
Bravo to both of you.
Well, I want to thank both Carlos and Emily for being here. Make sure you check out the Cheese District and also go to their next concert for Sistema. You'll really love it. And have a great week, everybody. We'll see you next week and enjoy a bit of that warm weather. Take care.
Take care. Thank you for joining us.